Well, hi, and thanks for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. Today's kind of a special day, folks. It's very special for me, and hopefully it'll be special for a few of you, because I bought a gun that you guys have been recommending to me for about as long as I've had this channel going. I've always wanted one of these myself anyway, so it was just a matter of time before I finally got my hands on one. But I didn't really want to pay the full retail price for a left-handed Air Arms model TX200 Mark III. And that's exactly what I just picked up. It's a TX200 Mark III in 22 caliber, just an absolutely wonderful rifle. And I paid far less than I would have paid if I bought it brand new, because I bought it secondhand from a very nice gentleman who gave me a great deal. And so we both walked away happy. And I can't thank him enough for supplying the gun that I've been lusting after now for the last 10 years or so. So it's just a wonderful gun. We're going to go over all kinds of details as we get through this gun, but we got some issues with it, and I'll tell you about those in just a minute. But let me tell you about the gun first. We topped it off with a Hawk Air Max 6-24 by 50 millimeter scope. I think that makes a good match. The gun comes in at 41 1/4 inches long, which makes it a manageable length. It's got a 13-inch barrel. It weighs 9.3 pounds. That's right, a whopping 9.3 pounds this gun weighs. You put your scope on top of it and you're coming in just under 12 pounds. That's a heavy gun. But the factory claims it, not the factory I should say, but looking at Pyramid Air's website, they're averaging this gun at around 755 feet per second with an 11 grain pellet. And I was getting 692 on average with a 14.6 grain field target trophy. So that puts it right in the 15 foot-pound ballpark, which I think is pretty good for a gun like this. As far as the kind of range and shooting that I'm going to be doing, I think 15 foot-pounds is just about right. Maybe could go a little higher, but I wouldn't go much higher. So it's just a gorgeous rifle. It's got this walnut stock. It's only available in walnut if you want the left-hand version. And the left-hand version for me just means the cheek piece is on the proper side. That's really all it means. What they did, though, to make it a little more convenient for left-hand shooters, is they also put the loading port, or the breech, on the left-hand side of the action. And for a lot of lefties, I think that would be wonderful. But for me, it's kind of a switching it up, because I'm used to using my right hand to load my HW97. I use my right hand to load all my brake barrels. I use my right hand to manipulate pellets a lot better than I do with my left hand, and that's because you may or may not have noticed that the index finger on my left hand is a little bit messed up, and that's from an injury I did back when I was in my 20s. I literally shot a 38 caliber black powder round ball right through the palm of my hand. And that's another story. Ask me someday, I'll tell you that story. But at any rate, it went through in one side and out the other, and it severed the tendon that operates that finger, so I can't really straighten it out that much. So I've lost a little dexterity, so that's why it makes it difficult for me to load a pellet with my left hand. But I find the more I do it, the better I get at it. So we'll see. Maybe I can readjust myself and get used to loading this thing just fine. So where do we leave off? About the beautiful walnut stock with this really elegant fish scale checkering. It's got the nice, I think they call it fleur-de-lis engraving on either side. It's just beautiful. The rosewood grip cap with a white line spacer. The Air Arms logo is engraved into the bottom of it. It's just gorgeous. And then when you look at the metalwork, whoever's responsible for polishing these things up is a maniac, let me tell you, because they really spend the time and polish. I used to be a gun refinisher in my spare time. I used to have a small-time business doing that for different gun shops in my area. And I would reblue guns for people, and I know what it takes to get a finish like this. It takes a lot of labor. So that would explain some of the increase in cost between this and some of the competitors. One glance at this rifle and how it operates, and you can see HW97 written all over it, or HW77, or any of those HW models with the sliding breech. You can see what they did. They really took a lot from that gun and incorporated it into their own design. The trigger action and the safety placement are like, it's about as close as you can get without copyright infringement, I would guess. But it's a really elegant rifle. I can't wait to get to know it and shoot it. But right now, what's going on is I can't get it to group. I don't know if it's the scope or if it's the gun. I haven't been able to determine that yet. But I think the last couple of groups that I shot were telling the story. So I think the problem may lie within the gun. And here's why. Take a look at this target. Now, if you look, that center bullseye, that was my first shot after I got this thing zeroed, which took forever because I was chasing zeros all over the place with this gun. And when I finally got it to shoot 4 or 5 shots in a row, I moved to this new target and I fired, and I got a bullseye on the first shot, which was expected because I had 5 good shots in a row. And then I took the next shot and I hit at the very bottom, and then the shots after that kind of climbed up back towards zero. So I'm getting an elevation drop, and that leads me to believe the problem's with the gun, because a seal that's leaking, whether it be a breech seal or a piston seal, would cause a variation in the power output, which would also cause a variation in where your point of impact is, but it's usually a vertical variation because less power, more of an arc. So anyway, I think that's what's going on, but we're going to take the scope off and we're going to put it on a different gun that I know shoots straight, and we're going to see if I can zero the scope with that gun. If I can, then we've eliminated the scope as the issue and we've proven that it's the gun. So, and then we'll go from there. But at any rate, I was going to take this apart anyway, so it's going to get all new seal. It's got this tiniest little bit of vibration. I won't even call it a spring buzz. It's just a vibration. And there's something about this walnut stock that really transmits that shock. So I can hear it right through the walnut when I fire it. So I'm going to see what I can do about deadening some of that noise. And while I got it apart, of course, I'm going to replace those seals. So I just wanted to introduce you folks to my brand new TX200 and to thank you all for your recommendations. I'm really glad I picked it up. I know I'm going to sort out my accuracy issues, and we'll have this thing shooting like a dream in no time. So in order to celebrate, I think we're going to have to ring that bell. Even though I don't have it zeroed, I think I can hit that bell from here. So here we go. With my left hand, I'm going to load this rifle, hopefully. And this can go easy or it can go poorly. I don't know how many times I've dropped pellets down inside the action here. There we go, I'm in. Sometimes it takes a lot longer than that. Here's another thing that's weird about this gun is that unless I switch hands and push down here and close the barrel with my left hand, if I want to stay holding on to the cocking lever and just close it, I have to reach over with my left hand and push the release, and then I can bring it up and latch it. So it's ergonomically, it's not perfect, but I suppose I'll get used to that too. So anyway, let's see if we can hit that bell and celebrate this beautiful brand new rifle. Oh, safety. Oh yeah, that's a pretty sound, isn't it? So I want to thank you folks for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel, to ask you to subscribe if you haven't done so already, to hit the bell if you'd like to be reminded of future videos, and to by all means give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. Thanks so much folks. Have a great day.